I bought this 2013 Dodge Charger from Copart for a price so low, it didn't even feel real. But what looked like a simple fix actually turned into one of the most stressful builds I have ever had. That being said, let's get into the video. Let me ask you guys a question before I get into it. After you see these pictures here, highlight says that the car runs and drives. You got both your keys with it. It has one owner on it. And this car here has a buyout price for $1,200. What would you say to a running driving vehicle that's under 150,000 miles for $1,200? Sounds like a steal, right? Just got to fix a few things, put another headlight on, and just do a little fender repair plus some door handles. Seems pretty simple. Until the real things start to kick in. All right, so let's start off with some of the good. The car ran good. It put a smile on my face literally every time I got into it. Yeah, I know it's not a V8, but still in all, it was plenty of fun for me to drive. The car also looks pretty aggressive. I won't say very aggressive, but pretty aggressive. And the work just seemed to be very minimal. And this car here, she cranked up and ran every single time I got into it. No complaints, no issues. And this here is some of the bad. So when I first got it, right, the headlight for itself was about $275, and that was for a new headlight. The door was right at $1,100 for a new door, and that's without the other parts and everything else to it. The fender itself was like $100 and some for that as well, but I didn't buy any of that. I went to a junkyard to go ahead and get those parts. The door itself still cost me right at $700. The headlight was right at I think the headlight and the side fender was right at 200 and some change. Just for those parts were pretty difficult to find, and the ones that I did find was very, very, very expensive. Okay, and now for the ugly. We initially had this car here sold. The buyer came through, did a test drive. He enjoyed the car, and everything went smooth. Went back and did some paperwork. We just had to wait for the next day for us to get that approval. So the next day rolls around. I decide to go outside just to crank it up, make sure that everything is all right with the car. As I go to crank it up, there's a massive oil leak falling from the engine bay to the floor. So because of that, I wasn't going to sell a problem vehicle to anybody. So I immediately went ahead and kicked back the sale. And we had to go back in to see why the car was leaking oil. Turned around and found out that it was the oil housing unit that went bad into this car here. It had a crack into it. So I went ahead and ordered a brand new housing unit, had the brand new housing unit installed to this vehicle. It was not hard work, but it was a lot of work. And we had the housing unit installed, attached, and we didn't have any more problems from the oil. So we thought that the car was good. I turned around and took the car out for a test drive, drove it a few, drove it a bit, drove it a few times, looked back at it. We put new oil in it, new filter, new everything. No more problems, no more issues. At this time, I took the car out for more test drives. At this point, it started to kind of sort of become my daily driver. And I actually enjoyed it for a little bit until one day it decided to not necessarily run hot, but to get really, really close. And I've noticed that the needle was moving. See that needle? That's pretty much as far as it goes. Everything is running fine. The notch. So in typical fashion, all I really did was assume that it was the thermostat, which is one thing that I usually try to tell you guys never to do. Don't just assume. You need to know 100%. But anyway, I assumed that it was the thermostat and went inside and replaced the thermostat. For a time, it was no longer bubbling anymore. The needle was still in the middle. It wasn't running hot anymore, and it seemed like the issue was fixed. However, I wound up driving it, and this happened. I've been driving it, and she ran hot. Left me on the side of the road. So I'm here with Challenger, and she's steaming, ran hot. So that didn't fix it. Back to the drawing board with this one. And again, we went back to the drawing board and just assumed that it was the radiator. Um, we went ahead and replaced the radiator in this one here. Like I told you guys before, never throw money at these cars that you get from auctions this way. This is the fastest way that you could fall into a money pit. And so we want to replace the radiator. The radiator was not the issue either. As you guys notice, we changed the radiator, and then it was running hot after we changed the radiator, and now come back to it. Oh, never mind, there it goes. Now the needle's moving. We got the AC blowing, and we changed the radiator. God, come on, it's not hot, but needles are not supposed to move when they doing this here. That means there's something else wrong with the car, because despite the fact that the needle isn't running to hot, just check the radiator. There's almost no water in the radiator, or no coolant in the radiator. Sorry, I need to stop pouring coolant in it because that's wasting money. Spent $14 on some coolant and poured in here. So after just throwing money at it, we finally decided to go ahead and do a diagnostics on this one here, and found out exactly what the problem was able to take it to one of my mechanics, and he was able to show me exactly what it is, and you will not believe how simple this issue was. Entire car, look at that, no bubbles, no heat, no bubbles. That's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. Had to replace this here. So that was the thing there that was sending our car throughout all that grief. This is another reason why they tell you don't ever jump the gun, and one reason why you want to take care of the cheaper options before you get into your more expensive options, because if I was smart and would have did that, I would have saved money on having to replace the thermostat, replace the water pump, and replace the radiator. But no, I wanted to do my own thing and then wanted to assume that it was one thing after another instead of, going after the simple stuff. So needle's no longer moving. Drove it all the way up here to the shop. Have no more issues out of it now. So anyway, that was my journey with this car here. Since then, I've been driving it. She's been running like a queen. Ain't had no problems out of her, no issues. This here taught me a whole lot. One of the main things that it taught me, don't just blindly throw money at a situation just because you think that it might be X or it might be Y. You need to do a real diagnostics on your vehicle and really understand exactly what's going on, and possibly take care of your cheaper options before you start moving into your expensive options. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you're thinking about buying a car from a Copart or IAA, I would strongly recommend that you watch this video twice. And if you've ever dealt with something like this here, drop it in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care.